Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. As you could see on the thumbnail, this is another Commenter Chronicles, but it's a little different. If you're new to my channel, you may not know what I'm talking about, but during my Kylie Rodney coverage, I had a very frequent commenter who was a big supporter of Saint Sammy, and we did quite a few videos where I came on and ranted about her comments. These comments are more of a threat to me over my coverage of this case. And honestly, it's not completely unexpected. The case I'm talking about, you can see here, I've got Brett Wolfe's Six of Hearts playing card. It's part of the OSBI's cold case deck. And I knew going in to this case, there was going to be controversy. There was going to be issues that came up simply by me talking about it. The first time I met Brett's family in person, I drove to Seminole and we met in the parking lot at a local restaurant, and it was kind of busy. It was a nice weekend day and they were kind of busy, and his family suggested that we go somewhere else to talk, so that basically we didn't know who might be listening. So we went to a place that was a little more isolated, where we could talk openly and not be in fear of being overheard who and what we were discussing. And that right there pretty much tells you everything you need to know. But I started getting comments and messages, and it all started off, just, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Do you think it's really ever going to get solved because we're talking about Seminole? People, saying that, like, I don't know what I'm talking about and that I need to do more research and be putting out facts and things like that, just kind of trying to discount what I was saying, or maybe hoping that by them saying these things, people wouldn't believe what I was putting out there. And to that, like I said, I'm not surprised. There's definitely people that probably don't want this information out there. There's probably people that are very happy and satisfied with themselves that they have gotten away with this for 16 years. And they probably thought it was done, it was over. But it's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. I was told to look into certain law enforcement, which I have, and my next video will be covering a lot of law enforcement and what was and was not done. Right now I'm simply waiting for more information from his family. They are right now putting together information on that topic that we maybe haven't already discussed. Just more things that they want me to know about the law enforcement side. I am in regular contact with his family. And any information that I have put out there, I have gotten from the family, or I had the person that turned in the witness tip, Adam, who called me and allowed me to record his conversation, and everything that was in there, I researched and backed it up with court filings, charges that were pressed, court cases. And anytime I talk to anybody outside of the family about the case, I take what I've learned to the family to see if they have any more to offer, or if they know that what I've been told is not right, things like that. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you know I care about facts. I deep dive, and I like to be able to back up what I'm saying. I don't just throw random stuff out there for no reason. It's not for clicks, it's not for views. And on that point, if I was only in this for the clicks and the views, why in the world would I be covering a 16-year-old cold case from Seminole, Oklahoma? Well, I'm covering it because it matters, and I'm invested, and I care about this family, and I'm going to continue. I got some more aggressive threats, and I looked into the names of the people, did background checks. I know who they are, and their names, their threats, all the information has been documented. It's been given to multiple people and authorities, just on the off chance that something comes of it. I don't expect it will, but it definitely could. And I just want to come on here and say, you can threaten me, but it's not going to make me back down. It's not going to make me quit naming names. I'm not going to be quiet. There's been 16 years of quiet, and it's time for it to stop. This case went from Seminole to the OSBI and is now in the hands of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which takes it to a federal level. And they have all of the federal resources behind them. And we're going to give the Bureau of Indian Affairs everything they need to find out who did this and finally bring some justice to this family, to Brett. Because this person is still out in the community. He is still walking around, living his life, and his accomplices have gone on and lived their lives. And it's time for it to stop. Some people have said, well, they have miserable lives. I don't care. If they have a miserable life, they brought it on themselves. But Brett doesn't have a life at all, miserable or otherwise. And I can tell you that his family would rather have him here living a miserable life than have him in a cemetery. Brett didn't get the opportunity to figure out what he really wanted to do with his life. Brett did not get to continue to spoil his family and enjoy his family. And they didn't get to enjoy him. He was denied the opportunity to get to know his amazing son. And his son was denied the opportunity to get to know his dad. He didn't get to celebrate any more birthdays, any more holidays. Nothing. It was all taken away from him for what appears to be a very petty reason. And the person or persons involved in doing this, they have gotten to live their lives, have families, see their kids grow up, get married, all kinds of things that Brett doesn't get to do. And it's time for that to change. They have had 16 years of living that Brett has not. And I know a couple of you that made threats. You like to play with fire, don't you? And sometimes when you play with fire, you get burned. Now, I know you got arrested a couple times for playing with fire, but this time it could really come back and burn you. And I know that there's one of you that picked up and moved your kids across country while you were running from the police. And that's how they ended up in Oklahoma in the middle of this mess. How'd that work out for you? And again, it's all out there for the public. It's all out there for the public. All they have to do is look. And I have all the records. Trust me. And before I had the records, I learned all of this from your relative that you are trying to protect. And if he's not involved, he doesn't need to be protected, does he? No. And I was asked if I believed the cousin that was involved with the kidnapping, who ended up letting Adam go and probably saving his life. And yeah, I do. Because I didn't call him, he called me. And we talked. And when I discussed it with Brett's family, they've had contact with him as well. I think one of the people that was involved showed up at Brett's funeral wearing Brett's hat that his cousin had given him. And I think that's very bold to do something like that, to walk up to his family wearing his hat that his cousin had given him. And then when he was called on it, he said that, oh, Brett had given it to me and I was just bringing it to you. These people have no compassion. They interact with this family in town, asking them about the investigation and things like that. So you're darn right I'm going to keep going and exposing as much as I possibly can to get answers. Because you have no compassion or empathy for them, and I have none for you. You didn't just kill Brett that day. You destroyed a lot of lives. His family, his friends, his son that he didn't even know he had. This affected more than one person. And it will come back and affect you and the people in your life. Although they probably already know. And why they're letting you get by with it is beyond me. But you need to quit going around town talking about it and rubbing it in people's faces, because just because that has worked for you for 16 years, it's not going to work forever. And the Delphi case shows me I'm right. People had given up hope that they were ever going to find the killer. And guess what? They arrested him. It finally caught up with them. And he was hiding in plain sight, just like you are. Just like you are. But it caught up with them. And this will catch up with you. And I hope I have a hand in it. I would love to see you be taken in. I can't wait for the day to see you in court. But I just wanted to let you know that your threats don't scare me. They're not going to make me be quiet. They're not going to make me go away. They're not going to get me to quit digging. I'm here. I promised Brett's family I would do this and I wouldn't stop. And I'm keeping that promise. I'm keeping it. I'm going to keep doing these videos and I'm not going to stop. We'll get you. It's only a matter of time.